Welcome to Nakuru County Business Week, courtesy of the Chamber of Commerce and the County Business Week.
Thank you, Madam Ru. Thank you, KNCCI, for bringing us together this weekend, and we thank God for everything. My name is Kuria Dennis. I come from Kenya Revenue Authority, Nakuru branch, from a department called Marketing and Communication. Okay, someone might ask, what is KRA marketing? We do all selling. We sell tax. That's what I market, and I sell taxes. But all in all, we'll talk more within our conversation. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Roland Mwagembo. I'm representing Kenya Bureau of Standards. I believe quite a number of us know about Kenya Bureau of Standards, and we have quite a number of products. And I'm delighted for having been invited for this occasion about value addition. We have a lot to talk, because even as KEBS, we have identified some products that we want to promote in this financial year under the better economy and manufacturing. Thank you. We'll discuss more.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. You know, for people with disability, they have issues with everybody, because every time they lived, they had a challenge to deal with. And every morning they wake up, they have a challenge to deal with. So they are always aggressive. Good morning. Good morning. Don't worry me, I'm like that. I was not born like that, but a doctor somewhere used his own, I think he didn't know what he was doing, but he messed up with my nerves, and that's why I'm working like that. But that is called professional problems. And as we continue, life continues. We can't blame them. We can't take them to court. We've decided never to take anybody to court, because he was trying to maybe save your life. I was not drug, so that's why you find me like this. I'm Dr. Kanyiri, and I am in Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, and I handle two sectors. One, agriculture, and that is agribusiness, and also people with disability in Nakuru County. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Waziri, as you introduce yourself, I will request that you take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth. My name is Leonard Bor. I'm the CEC in charge of agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and veterinary services in Nakuru County. Maybe good morning. Yeah, I'm grateful to be here, and thanks to the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce for planning this very important exhibition. I know here we are talking of agribusiness, value addition, so it's quite interaction of many sector players. And as you know, agriculture is one of the pillars that support business. I'm sure most of the business thrive or rely on the produce that originates from agriculture. As you know, Nakuru County is rich in agriculture. We are actually the food basket of this republic, considering that the horticulture sector is doing very well here in Nakuru, Naivasha, and generally Nakuru. We also have one of the largest lakes, also Lake Naivasha, which does also good for on matters fisheries. So generally, where you are, Nakuru County is a home of agriculture, and we are proud of that. Coming into the sector, the agriculture, or the department that I lead, we've done a lot to be able to support farmers on different value chains that we take pride in. Looking into the support, first of all, our governor supports the issue of pyrethrum. You know, we initially, of course, we are still the leading county on matters pyrethrum. I know there are several counties surrounding us who are looking into also competing with us, but we are also working so hard, because as we increase the issue of diversification, our farmers will reap maximum benefit, because as yet they do different cash crops. We know for sure we'll be increasing the economic sustainability. And one of the crops that we promote is pyrethrum. I think this year we've supported farmers across the county, across the 8 sub-counties actually in Nakuru County. In total, of course, we have 11 sub-counties, but 8 farm pyrethrum. This year, or the last financial year, we gave farmers to a tune of 12 million seedlings across all the 8 sub-counties. So, and we also have plans for this financial year to be able also to support. We've increased this year, we are talking about 15 million number of seedlings that goes into the farms of our farmers. And thanks also to the many stakeholders that we work together. We have the PPCK, we have the Kentegras and many other players who have come to join hands with us to support these farmers and also to offer the processing aspect, because we also want to focus as they produce, where do they take their products. So we are blessed because currently we have 2 processors. We have the PPCK and now Kentegra is coming on board. The value chain that we also support, we've supported is the avocado, which is coming out strongly. And when I came, we had a conversation with the EPCZA on how we can have these farmers with their cooperatives having also a share in the EPCZA so that they can aggregate their produce, because as we support the farmers, we also need to focus on the market aspect, because looking into our county, we've supported now for the last, I think, 4 years, and we still have plans to support more. So the focus now should be on how they can collectively market their produce, so that we don't have this issue of brokers killing our market. So that is our main focus, and we'll work together with the off-takers and all the stakeholders to be able to support our farmers. We are also marketing or promoting sunflower in our county. I think we've received so far 45 tons of sunflower. This is geared towards having our farmers access to the cooking oil. You know, our country imports uses a lot of money to import the edible oil. Close to 160 billion, that is a lot of money that should otherwise be used in our country to spur economic growth and to offer job opportunities for our youth. So we've started distributing sunflower. We've done the first 15 tons, and we are now doing the 30 tons across about 50 wards that we have in Nakuru County. We also have plans maybe to support the women groups with pressers. This will ensure that we have those, we have the industries, or we support women to do the pressing of this sunflower. By that way, we're also creating job opportunities and empowering these farmers. On potato, we still support our farmers to access certified seeds by working with various stakeholders across this value chain. We recently supported a mechanization for our potato union. We have a potato union in our county, bringing having about 15 cooperatives across the county. So we've supported them to come together on mechanization, and we also we continue to engage and support them on how they can produce more certified seeds so that we can support this value chain. We also did support our farmers on matters fertilizer. We did the last mile. Actually, Nakuru County, we have about 6 NCBB owned depots. So we supplemented with another 16 across the county. So that made it easy for our farmers to access fertilizer, and we'll still continue to even do that. On tea, we also big on tea because we have about 2 sub-counties, that is Kuresoi South and Kuresoi North, which are coming up with tea, and we continue to support them on matters tea buying centers, as this will guarantee them quality as they market their farm produce. On livestock, we recently launched the subsidized AI. This will ensure that our farmers access the subsidized AI. You understand the cost is so high, talking of 2,000 and above to about 7,000. But this one, when it was subsidized, our governor made it about 800 shillings, which will ensure more farmers are now able to access these good breeds or good cement that will guarantee the good breeds, and therefore increasing the amount of milk. Currently, I think we are the leading county on Martha's Dairy, I think after Kiambu. So we are the leading. Last year we did about 318 million liters of milk. So it makes it an opportunity for many players to come and also invest in that sector and support our farmers. What matters, maybe value addition. We continue to give the breeding stocks in some areas. We have our project Kelcop, where we support farmers with the breeding stock for small livestock, goats and sheep. We've also supported our farmers with coolers, and we'll still continue supporting them. We are now operationalizing about 9 coolers by giving them backup generators across the county. We also continue to doing vaccination across the county. This will ensure that our farmers don't incur losses on emerging diseases. On matters fisheries, I'm going quickly because I know time is not on our side. We've done restocking for lakes like Naivasha, Lake Solai, Kenyatta Dam, and across all the fish ponds that we have across the county. We've supported them with fingerlings. We've also given them fishing gears, and we still continue supporting them. We're also coming up with policies. Currently we have a bill before the County Assembly of Nakuru. That is Nakuru County Aquaculture Bill. This will ensure that we have the sector is well managed, and we don't encounter the issues that we normally face to our fishermen, the fish resource, and also on our lakes. Generally, we are doing a lot in the department. We are currently implementing the project NAFCDP, which is being implemented across the 50 wards, the agricultural wards. Of course, we have 5 which are urban, and we are looking into having the urban food system also that we can be able also to implement. And we are in the process of recruiting the entrepreneurs who are supposed to link our farmers to markets, and also to support on extension services, which is, I think, is a key component, because we can't just talk of production unless we also address issues to do with market. So that is where we are, and we remain focused to work with all of you to make sure that our county achieves the greatest success that we want to achieve. I'm glad here that we have many stakeholders. We've partnered, we've worked together. KNCCI is a big one. We've worked together, and we still continue working together. KEPS, we've worked strongly, especially when we had the issue of counterfeits on fertilizer and seed, which I think will continue, because we want our farmers to get maximum benefit, and they cannot get so when we have some people dumping some bad products in our county. So they are strong partners. KEPS, we work together strongly. We have heard today that we market also taxes, so I don't know. I know my farmers pay. When you explain, tax that is good now when we have such forum, where we make sure that we bring everybody on board. What is it that we need to do? Because again, we need to make sure that our country grows. Otherwise, those few remarks, I'm grateful, and I look forward to engaging with you, maybe even in different forums, because of many other exigencies of duty. I'll request at some few minutes I'll be leaving. Thank you so much, and be blessed. Sachin.
You know, someone asked, there's a current fund that the county has released. Is it going to support farmers, or is it just traders?
I suppose you're talking about the enterprise fund?
The enterprise fund, yes.
The enterprise fund again will cut across, supporting the cooperatives, supporting SACCOs, supporting, when you talk of traders, I think it cuts across. So it is actually for all, for the cooperatives and for SACCOs. Yes.
Yes.
Allow me to ask you a question. That is in agriculture, particularly because that last year, that is this year, the first season, because you have 2 seasons, we had a problem with the Kenya seed, which is part of the national national company that produces seeds, and generally they do not have seed enough for us, and therefore so many people used their own seeds. And then that challenge of also the fertilizer that was given, which was already not a good standard, and I think because of the cages here, it is also another issue maybe to deal with. But mostly what we found it very difficult on our Waziri is that Kenya Seed is breaking the protocol of selling seeds directly to the farmers instead of selling to the distributors, who at the final point has got more clients, even though there will also be a problem of people who do not, who are we call unscrupulous traders. But I think that they refuse to give the traders who are the real traders, who they have certified already. And they did not give them, and they were selling seeds to the farmers, and the farmers were selling next to their neighbors. And according to what we see is that when KEFIS comes to us, they ask us the certificate or the license that holds us to be able to sell the certified seeds, but they are selling directly to a farmer who goes and sells to the other farmer, mixes his own thing, because they come also to the agrovet next, because we also have those chemicals that are mixed again with the seeds, and then we found it was not ethical, and I think this is something that nationally should also be handled, and that is why I'm taking it through your point, so that even the farmers who are here can understand the protocols of dealing with the selling of the seeds and the licensing that is being done across the board, because even all over we have the system that is.
Thank you so much, and it's good. I'm glad that the KEPs are here. I know there are always standards when we talk of seed. What we've done, because I think initially it was just production of seed without knowing exactly what quantities are we producing. We did the farmer registration, and as a county we know what is the requirement for maize this year or next year. So as we engage with Kenya Seed, or as we engage with the, of course Kenya Seed is under national government, as we engage, we already know the requirement for our county. And our proposal was, as we give out fertilizer, or as the distribution point for fertilizer should also act as a distribution point for the seed to address most of these issues. So I think if we know the channel of distribution, if we are doing it with the fertilizer, I think we are going to get rid of where a farmer goes, I don't know, they have to look for fertilizer in unknown places. The structures that we are putting in place, I think is going to make sure and guarantee the quality of seed that our farmers are going to access. Thank you.
Youths in the house or in the venue, are there programs to support youths to start or take agri as a business?
First of all, I did talk of the issue of the entrepreneurs, which ideally will be youth. Two, we have many programs, either county-wise or national, that support the issue of youth. Number one, I think we have the Ginue. We have Ginue, which is a good product, and maybe it's about we sensitize the youth on its availability, because most of these products are good. They are geared for youth, but rarely do they get information. So I think the key thing here that we need to do together is to make sure that our youth are aware of the products that we give. In all the products that we are doing, whether NAFCDP, KELCOP, and the rest, we make sure that we want to take it upon to make sure that our youth participate. Like what we said when we were recruiting or registering the CIGs, the common interest group, we deliberately made sure that youth are part and parcel. They are in that, so that they participate in the project.
I was the MC before, but in this capacity, I want to stand as a young person of this county, and I want to ask a question on sustainability on agriculture. You've mentioned you are distributing pyrethrum and sunflower. I remember while growing up in the village in Subukia, not very far away from here. Those are the plants that we used to see being grown up, that were grown back then. What sustainable measures as the county put in place, so that again, at some point when we were growing up, it became Naikaisha. So what sustainable measure have you put in place? And like my grandmother was telling me, wameletea hizo plants for pande. What measures have you put to make sure that they also understand the sustainability of that plant? So that again, 5 years again from now, we are back to square one. So what is the county government of Nakuru doing about that?
So thank you so much for that question. First of all, you know, the byproducts or what we are looking for in pyrethrum is to do with pesticides that we use. And the best practice globally is to encourage farmers to use synthetic pesticides, as opposed, not synthetic, the organic, as opposed to the synthetic. And that guarantees now the market for these, the pyrethrins that we extract from pyrethrum. So that looking into what we're doing as a county, I mentioned that initially it was only one state-owned factory that used to process the pyrethrum. But currently we have an extra one that is coming up in Naivasha. I think it is Kentabra. It is coming up, and that is a multi-million project that is coming up. I think this guarantees the market. First, we are sure of the market, and now with the global standards, I'm talking about of the use of organic pesticide. I think that is a good step. That means worldwide we have market for the product. And for sustainability is pyrethrum is one of our key value chain under the programs that we are running, like NAFCDP. That will ensure that many farmers now will be able to plant this crop, because by way of being supported with seedlings and seeds. So we're going now maybe to double. What we used to do with our internal budget is now being supplemented elsewhere. Thank you.
There's one more here.
Last one.
Good morning, everybody. I have studied here in a capacity of a farmer. Last year we have a scandal of fertilizer. You, the distributors, you distribute fertilizer, and you told us it was very good. And we take your fertilizer, we plant with it, and the end result was poor. What you did is just to say that fertilizer was bad, and then you have to replace it. Who was to take charge of the farming cost? Because we have done the farming, we have done everything. Who was to pay us back? Because we have done the necessary. Then you say the fertilizer was bad. How are we going to cover our losses, we as farmers?
And I think when there were the issue of maybe the fertilizer not being to standard, it was addressed. And if there are still complaints to that effect, maybe we'll take it from here also, maybe to follow up. But actually it was to be addressed. But I think going forward, I know many measures are put in place to ensure, because it is not a good thing that a farmer access fertilizer that is not good, because if we are looking at increasing production, and one of the ingredients of increasing production is the fertilizer, I think we being cautious not to go there. The mandated agencies are well guided. It is known that they are well guided now to do the right thing. So us as county, we were doing the last mile distribution, just making it here that it's not a farmer from Wasegas will not need to go to maybe Subuke. A farmer from Mauche don't need to come to Nakuru town to collect fertilizer. That is what we are doing. So if I hear your concern, and we also, as a county government, we make sure that we also engage strongly to make sure that the products that are coming to Nakuru County are fit for use and they are guaranteed to quality. Thank you so much.
To add on this side, I think there is a breakdown in the system that the government is working on. putting the county government to the last end of the point, whereby there are also distribution channels that we have in the country, and we had actually fixed some of these things. There was a point whereby the government was appointing us, and you were to fill the forms, and we did it. Actually, we did it, which was an e-voucher, which was very good to reach all the farmers because it was subsidized, where the government pays 3,000, if it says that they are going to sell 3,500. We buy our fertilizers from the original companies, and then we charge the farmer the difference which was done by the government, 3,500, and the government could take care of the other one. So I think that was the best way, the e-voucher system, which was helping the government to reach most of the farmers. But currently, if you are supposed to go to the next cereal board, which is next to you, and the lineup and queues that are there, some farmers have opted to come back for the expensive fertilizer. So they think it may be because the CEC is with us here. I think that's the system they should adopt, which will help the future of the growth of the agriculture. The agriculture is suspended somewhere up there if we go in that system. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I support your point. In fact, we did map all the potential agrovets, and we even asked them to apply. Of course, they were applying through the State Department for Agriculture. And to me, that is also a very nice network that we can easily use, because you'll find agrovets even to the villages across. That is a model that we are also supporting, and we look forward to its fruition maybe in the near future. Otherwise, thank you so much. Na karibu sana. Wish you a fruitful engagement. Na asanteni sana. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. Kenya Bureau of Standards. Under the Standards Act, we have some mandates, and I'll summarize them as SMCA. The first S talks about standardization, developing standards. The standards that we develop, they address issues of performance. When we talk about performance, like a good example, if you buy a dress, you expect that dress not to fade when you wash it. When you air it outside, it should not fade, though that is about performance. Then there's the issue of safety. Safety, maybe if it's a food product, especially the maize meal, things like that, you heard about aflatoxin, that is a safety issue. Then also environmental consideration. Then we have the other mandate that we have, that is the metrology, the M, it's about metrology. There's a difference between meteorology and metrology. Meteorology ni ile ya Water Francis, ile alikuwa anatoa mvua huku. So you recall that one. And metrology is about, it's a science of measurements. Good example, if you go to the hospital, when they check your pressure, that machine, maybe they'll tell you your pressure is high. Maybe it's the machine which is sick, it's not you. So, metrology addresses such issues, it's the science of measurements. And I'm happy to inform you that currently we have the latest technology, it's called the Cobalt 60. Initially, we didn't have the capacity to calibrate the radiology equipment in Kenya. Currently, KEBS has got a Cobalt 60, and I think it's the first in Africa. We can calibrate the X-ray machines. All the X-ray machines, we can, any radiology equipment, we can calibrate. Then the CA talks about conformity assessment. Conformity, basically, it's about inspections, where those who are in the manufacturing sector, we come for inspection, we collect samples, we test the samples. So it's about inspection, testing, and then the ultimate goal when we come to your premise is giving the standardization mark. That is certification. We also have quite a number of certifications. There's the product certification, the standardization mark that you all know about. We also have the system certification. We have quite a number, the ISO. When you hear ISO, there are quite a number of ISOs, 9001 food safety. We have even anti-bribery management system. There are quite a number. And we also offer training on the same. So basically that is our mandate. And as I had mentioned when Waziri was here, you know, the current government, the better economy, there's a focus on the SMEs. And KEBS, we came up with a policy to address the SMEs. First, the policy, we are looking at a coordinated approach on how to support the SMEs. And there are quite a number of innovations that we have come with. First, we have the innovation pipeline. It's modeled on the biashara centers. Nani amesikia biashara centers? The biashara centers. A good example, like in Kariobangi, we have a biashara center. What happens in that biashara center? The government provided baking equipment, and KRA, all the organizations are there. So if you have an idea of baking bread and you are lacking the equipment, you go there, you are slotted in. Like in a day, you are given, you come and bake your bread from 8 to 10, then you go with your bread to sell, then somebody comes in, uses those facilities, they bake their bread, then they go and sell. So we have come up with a model on the same. Currently, we have implemented it in Mombasa and Eldoret, where we have come up with like an office. When you walk there, you will get all the government agencies. If you are an entrepreneur, you want to do manufacturing, ukikuja hapo utakuta KRA, then address your issues, MSEA, KEBS, all the relevant agencies involved in the manufacturing sector. So that is one. Then we also have the incubation. What do I mean with incubation? You might be having an idea, like maybe a juice, and Waziri had mentioned that there's the edible oil which is coming up, and that is one of the products in our targets on the value chain. And there's the sunflower. Maybe you don't know how to handle the sunflower, to process the sunflower. We have a linkage with the Kirby of the product development. MSEA funding, unfortunately, they are not here. If maybe it's an issue of funds, we are together with them, they give the funds. Then we have KIE. KIE, maybe you don't have a premise, and in some instances, they even have the facilities. So we can come together and support you as we come on the certification. We tell you what to do to meet the certification requirements. Then the other objective of the SME policy is about accessibility and affordability. Accessibility, you don't need to walk into KEBS office to make an application. You just visit the KEBS website, you make your application, you pay, then it will come to me and I realize, oh, so and so has made an application and is in job. Then I'll make a follow-up, come and visit you, and we do the necessary. We're also coming up with the new offices. We have identified sites, and even in Nakuru, we are developing a lab in Nakuru. Wapi makofi? A laboratory to test equipment. So the lab, like the one in Nairobi, we are coming up with one here in Nakuru. Then for the SMEs, we also have reduced rates, concessional rates for product certification. The large manufacturer, for a single product, you are supposed to pay 63,800. We are ready to certify. We talk about the tea. Tea also is one of the value chains that we are looking at, and we are looking at the specialty teas. You get the black tea, the normal one we know about, then pengine masala, uongeze masala, things like that. Then those we come and certify. And then the emerging, the hibiscus. Nani amesikia hibiscus tea? Hibiscus. Umewahi the hibiscus flower? Ama uko tu nayo hapo kwako na. We use it as flowers. Imagine that is tea, and you pay 400 shillings for how many grams? Na uko na hiyo chai tu maua tu hapo unaiangalia. So that is basically what KEBS is all about. I know there was a burning question about the fertilizer. Okay. The fertilizer, I will not talk much about it now because it's still a matter under investigation, and you know it's also a matter before the court. But what I will mention, when we certify you, it's about quality assurance. People have always had the notion that KEBS, every product like this water, we test, we certify, that one we test, we certify. That is not how it works. It's about quality assurance. Do you know your product? And if you are following the proceedings in Parliament when the issue was hot, somebody was asked, you didn't know your product, so you thought KEBS knows your product. First, you have to convince us that you know your product. Then, there's a certification agreement. The agreement indemnifies KEBS from any legal proceedings, and the manufacturer signs. The liability squarely remains with the manufacturer. So if you have come, we've inspected, we've tested your sample, and you have convinced us that you have the quality infrastructure to meet, to produce quality products, complying products, we'll issue your mark. But maybe we issue it today, tomorrow I'm not there, because we cannot be in all the factories at any given time. You decide to do your own things, then the liability is on you. I think I'll rest it at that. Thank you. Okay, just to mention the genesis of anti-counterfeit. We used to have the Standards Act. The Standards Act was talking about substandard product. So when there were issues of counterfeit, we would only hide on the Standards Act. But when we test it, we would get some of these counterfeited products as superior, and they are performing. Then we didn't have any legal basis to take them to court. Then the Anti-Counterfeit Authority was created to handle anti-counterfeit issues. Anti-counterfeit, us as KEBS, we are just like agents. If we get something we suspect to be anti-counterfeit, then we report to them, and also the manufacturer is supposed to launch a complaint with the Anti-Counterfeit Authority for them to do the investigation. If you don't launch a complaint, then they will not know what is happening. But the manufacturer is also key in the investigation, because it's you who knows your product, and even the secrets, even the secret markings that you have on your product, it's the manufacturer who knows. But we work with anti-counterfeit as agents. If we suspect any counterfeited product, then you report to us, then we can get in touch with them. I know there's something which will happen around Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There were people who are going around purporting to be KEBS. And even yesterday, somebody came to my office and I told them, in the years that I've worked in KEBS, in the last 30 years, I've not seen where we arrest somebody and we take them to the police station. Because you see, when I arrest you, that I'm working on behalf of KEBS, if there's even any legal liability, my managing director has to sanction. And that will take a process. The best we can do is seize your products. Maybe we carry them to KEBS offices. And before even we institute any legal proceeding, we have to confirm, are they meeting the requirements of the standards? Like in this case, these people were taken to the police station. On what basis? That is something that I wish to know, on what basis. But all in all, any KEBS officer, we have mechanisms of verifying if somebody is a KEBS officer. First, they have to give you their job ID. There's the 200. You send an SMS to 20023. Nani anaweza tuma SMS to 20023. Then HR just write HR hash 1337. Then at that point you ask me for my ID. So utakuwa umejua sasa ni ukweli. Can I forge that job card? No. It is the courts which levy a fine. The police, the best they can do, the best to my knowledge, is to give you a police bond to appear in court. So this levy yenye ilikuwa inalipwa huko, even me, I find it strange. But as a government officer, we have a responsibility, and we have to be responsive to the clients. You know, the government ni wananchi ndio wametuelect. So we have to handle them with decorum and care. So this harassment, that's why I was telling you, don't take it personal. Go harassing people. Yes. So it's so unfortunate, and we have been even circulating in the media, both the print, the social media, about some groups purporting to be working for Kenya Bureau of Standards. But the minute things start changing, wamekuja kwako ni Kenya Bureau of Standards, when you put them to task, then they change. Then I think from there, you can now start raising your eyebrows. But I think that is a matter that you can still pursue with the relevant authorities, because
in the government, wonderful. The very same people who went to Daktari's shop to ask for bribe, I would call it bribe, are still working for the government. As a citizen, who do I trust? Because he comes with a law enforcement officer purporting that they are checking and counterfeit, who is government. KEBS, who are meant to also validate whether what I'm selling is right, is government. So as a citizen, as a law-abiding citizen, I think from where I sit, I don't know if I'm alone, but I'm confused. Who do I believe? Is the system rigged that bad that we don't know who to believe as Kenyans? So as also someone representing the government, and also maybe another thing to I would like to question is these cases mostly happen in our, I'll call them rural. What are you doing about sensitizing that to the people who are, somebody who is in Subukia is not on social media but runs a business. Somebody who is in Kabarnet is not on social media but runs a business. How do I get to know that I can be able to certify whether you are a KEBS or a government official? So probably it's a call to action also on change of strategy on how you guys are able to sensitize. Probably hold barazas away from the city and come back to meet the people, because we are the people who are affected. If someone comes in my shop in Subukia, I don't know whether you are a KEBS officer. By the fact that I live here in the village and I don't have time to watch TV or listen to the information that you guys are giving, they ask me for 30,000. I will give, because I'm trying to avoid trouble, because I don't have that information. So also probably that's a call to action. But also, who do we trust? Who do we believe as Kenyans? Because you're working for the government. Thank you.
Mr. KEBS, I want to help you. Kenya Bureau of Standards, their main mandate is to set standards and maintain the standards to protect the consumer. Am I right? Anti-counterfeit, they are supposed to protect the manufacturer, those who try to copy without permission the standards which have already been set by KEBS. Is that correct? So now, the world today, we have even medicine which is generic. It is not original, but you cannot call it counterfeit. China has professionalized on that, and maybe other countries. So if a product comes to Kenya, first entry port is Mombasa, or maybe the airport if it is by air. You have an office there as KEBS. So I fail to understand, if you have certified that the product is okay, it gets into the market. We have enforcers from anti-counterfeit. Who are they representing? Who is the complainant? And what is wrong with the standard? Because already KEBS has certified that this product is of good standard, considering that the importer has all the certificates? I'm just trying to help you think.
I don't think these were representing any government agency. And I think that is something that we should investigate further. And I know eventually it will be established that they were not representing any government agency. Okay, on the issue of the sensitization, we've been having workshops, majorly dealing, inviting manufacturers, or those who are doing manufacturing. But as for this year, we have changed. We are now even inviting the traders, and we are planning to go around. Already there's one we are doing for Nakuru, which is coming up in October, and we have invited the traders. So as we invite the traders, also the manufacturers, we are sensitizing them. The only challenge that we have when we invite traders, they don't have time to leave their shops to come for such workshops. That is the challenge. Like now we have invited around 300, then eventually you end up with 50. So we've done our best. So we invite them, and also apart from that, even when you go to maybe social media, and even these Wajibika na Kebs, we've been running some radio programs, and we are even going to vernacular programs. So we are still trying to reach the masses as much as possible so that they can be aware. But you who is here, one of you, we always believe that if we give information to one person, watasambatia watu kama 200. So I'm seeing karibu tumekava Nakuru yote. So hiyo information itakuwa imeenda. So sensitization, we've been having workshops in Kabarnet, Kericho, Naivasha, Nyahururu. So we are still trying to go further, deep down, so that we can sensitize. Then the issue of generics, and the genuine drug. Once, when you look at the medicine, the patent, they are allowed to hold the patent for only 20 years. After the 20 years, they are allowed to open that patent to now those who manufacture generic. But the generics are registered. What I was talking about the anti-counterfeit, the little that I know. When you lodge a complaint, your brand name, if your brand name is Ogem, is it registered with the KIT? That is the first issue. So even the generics, you will find that they are registered and they are under somebody's patent. So the manufacturers, you have to make sure that your brand names are registered with KIT.
So I want to give you 5 minutes, because I want to close this session, to tell us why you are marketing tax. Thank you.
Thank you. As I started by saying, my name is Dennis. I come from Kenya Revenue Authority, Nakuru branch. 5 minutes, okay. I hope I'll be able. Okay, we had Waziri here who was saying we have done ABCD, we have given fingerlings, and a lot of things he is doing. I'm not saying to challenge what he's doing, but where did he get the money? Where? How did you give him did you give Waziri money directly?
We give KRA.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Whatever Waziri and other things are doing, or other government agencies are doing, the money emanates from you, but does not go to them directly. It's KRA's mandate to, first of all, collect the money, give it to the national government, and the national government starts disseminating it downwards. Even my friend Kebs, his office, he doesn't pay his rent from his pocket. He doesn't get his salary from, he gets all the money from somewhere. and that somewhere is you through Kenya Revenue Authority. Now, there is one thing that people don't know, the work of Kenya Revenue Authority. What is the responsibility of Kenya Revenue Authority? If I ask all of you here, I know there is one that you will say, and unfortunately, the answer you are going to give me, it's wrong. I repeat, what is the responsibility of Kenya Revenue Authority? Just shout.
Basically, your work is just to implement the policies of the national government.
Is the correct one, but that is not the answer most people have. The answer that people have is to collect taxes. Did you know the work of collecting taxes does not belong to Kenya Revenue Authority? The person collecting taxes is the national government through the treasury. However, KRA's work is to use policies to facilitate the collection. So basically, I come to you, I make sure you pay, but you don't pay me, you pay someone else. So that someone else is the one collecting. I'm just facilitating him to collect. To put it into context, I can use the sample an analogy of, okay, currently we have, let me diverge a bit from KRA. Let me go to education. We have CBC with us. Nani napenda CBC? CBC it's very chaotic, and a good number of parents are paid.
Including myself.
Yes, including Daktari.
Because I've become a teacher after a long time being in school.
Yes. Now, who do you complain to when you have a problem with CBC? Is it TSC and the teacher teaching the CBC? Whom should you complain to? The ministry. Why? Okay, who is teaching you? Who is teaching your child? Is it the ministry or it's TSC through the teacher? But when you're complaining, who are you complaining to? Why? It's because TSC, okay, the work of teaching belongs to the ministry, and it's the ministry that comes up with the policies and also the syllabus. Then the ministry look for someone to help in teaching. That's why they came up. You don't complain to Nancy Macharia. You have to complain to the Ministry of Education. Same thing with KRA. The work of Nancy Macharia is to implement the education policies. My work is to implement the tax policies. And when the policy says that you have to pay this, I just come to you and tell you, please just pay. Then we continue with our work. So we advocate that people to pay their rightful share of taxes as stipulated by the law, and we continue. The other work of Kenya Revenue Authority, and this one we are not well liked for, is the tax assessment. Tax assessment is basically being the deputy principal in taxation industry. People don't like deputy principals because they are harsh. And they are harsh when you do something wrong. But if you are doing the right thing, you will never see that person. So anytime you lie, or you try to cheat, or you involve yourself in tax fraud or tax evasion, we will come in and do an assessment. And it's never a good experience. That's where people hate us a lot. Another responsibility that we do is facilitating businesses. Someone who was engaged in import and export. One of the key stakeholders that you have to engage is Kenya Revenue Authority. And if you're doing export, there is one very important document that you need to have, a document called the Certificate of Origin. And the Certificate of Origin gives you your product preferential treatment when it goes to the outside market, the market that government, the Kenyan government, have trade treaties with. Also, for example, when you are selling within EAC, within COMESA, within the EU, or the governments that the Kenyan government have agreed that your products, when they come to us, we'll treat them this way. Without that document, your product won't benefit from the preferential treatment and you might not be able to get into that market. So we do business facilitation for those exporting products, and also when you are importing, one of the key stakeholders is Kenya Revenue Authority. And Kenya Revenue Authority, when it comes to imports, is the last institution to deal with. You go through all the others. For example, now let's come back to the fertilizer. I hope we will not go too much through it. The fertilizer was imported and KRA was involved. But we come at the last stage. And the stage is, first of all, have you gone through the other regulatory bodies that controls fertilizer? If you want to import a product, for example, it's a plant. Plants has to go through the KEFIS. They have to go through KEBS also, and other government agencies. If you go through all that, if one of the agencies is not okay with you, then KRA will not release your product. But if all of them are okay, we'll let your product get into the market. That is for exports and import. For those within the country, we try to facilitate business by trying to ensure that every person pays their rightful share. If we take these three people here to be or shop owners, you have Daktari, you have Ruth, and you have our friend from KEBS. If the two are paying taxes, but him is not paying, he has a competitive advantage against the two. But when KRA comes in and makes sure all of them are paying their rightful share, then the only point of competition is who can offer best product or best services. And that's our work. Then the last one is to do tax education. For example, what I'm doing now, tax education and tax advisories, they are given both to individuals and also to the states. That's our main responsibilities. And okay.
There's a question. Monica.
Thank you very much. My name is Monica, representing Tiankara Creation as a business, and also standing in as one of the organizing secretary for gas in the textile industry. Again, my question comes to the taxman. I've been to some forums with you. I've had the same answer. You collect taxes and we are supposed to go to the ministry. And I'm wondering, do the questions we ask you reach the ministry? Because when we come to such forums, I think when we put forth some of these questions, do they reach them? That is one question. Again, where is the ministry represented here? Because you never have answers to our questions. The first question is, we are small manufacturers, growing companies, being told to get VAT from people who are not paying VAT on the ground. I've been told many times, don't say this openly, but it's us hurting our small manufacturing industries and actually almost causing us to close down. So I'm asking if you can be coming with the ministry to these forums, so we don't have to go to their offices running after them when you run after us. Okay, so that is something I would request. And I strongly advocate, and I'm saying it again in any forum that I go, our manufacturing sectors, especially tailoring and clothing industries, are having a very big disadvantage because we are not getting receipts to claim back our VAT. Why am I saying that? We are not afraid to say that in such forums. Whether we don't say it or we say it, we close down. And that is what is happening here. So we need the taxman, we need the ministry to come together and address the small manufacturing companies that are suffering.
I'll try to answer your question in two parts. First of all, about manufacturing and VAT also. VAT is registered to someone who has a gross sale of 5 million for the whole year and above. If your gross sales for the whole year is 5 million and above, then VAT is, you ought to register for value added tax. Then the other part is about your VAT input, because VAT works on input-output basis. And there are two markets that, as Kerry, we are trying to reach out to them to make sure they register appropriately. The first market is Gikomba, and the second market is Isili. Those two has been, there is a person who has been tasked to make sure that he gets to that market, to make sure that they register appropriately so that they can stop affecting the people below them. Because as a tailor, you get your materials from Gikomba. I'm sure there is someone here who deals with Mutumba. Mutumba also, you get them from Gikomba. You get from Isili, the other one gets from Gikomba. And if that person is not well registered, then the whole sector is affected. In June this year, I don't know whether someone from Mutumba business can attest to this. We had an engagement with their leaders, and that was the issue that was raised. And this one is not a ministry problem, it's a KRA problem. And currently we are trying to resolve that one. The people who are dealing with Mutumba business, they were supposed to be registered on VAT, but once that question was raised, it was stalled temporarily until the issue to the Gikomba is resolved. So that problem of one of your supplier or the main suppliers in that industry not being registered appropriately is currently being addressed. When I said about the ministry not being here, I focus on how the money is being used. How the money is being used. The person who is responsible is the ministry. Then when it comes to policy, the people who are supposed to make policy, and I'm saying this with all due respect, it's us, Sisi Sote, through our representatives. When that person goes up there and says, from now henceforth, businesses worth this much will be registered with this. People earning X amount will be taxed at this. Did you know it? Okay, for example, our MP, area MP, is it Arama or it's Gikaria? Why are we? Are we in East or East? It's Gikaria. When Gikaria goes to the parliament and says, from now henceforth, I'm accepted to be taxed at 50%. Okay, I'm not saying this is the current situation. If he says that he has accepted to be taxed at 50%, did you know it's not him talking, it's you talking, it's me talking, all of us talking. So policy issues, they are set by our representatives, and when it comes to a policy issue, they are the best people to approach so that they can go and propose a change in the policy. Also, we can have direct representation where we can express ourselves, like what happened in June. Tulianguka nayo sisi wote. That is direct representation. Then there is the one that people, the MPs go and talk. But generally, policy issues, it's us, all of us, through our representation. Then when it comes to usage, is the ministry. I don't know whether I've answered that question.
No, you've not answered.
No, you've not answered, but it's fine. I want to close this session because
Can I ask a question before?
In 10th Parliament, I was the most decorated parliamentarian, so I know these stories.
I want to sympathize with the KRA men because he's trying to tell you the truth, but it is hard for somebody to accept the truth. Why were parliaments instituted or formed? Number one was because the people did not want to continue paying taxes without representation. So they killed a king, King Henry II. I don't want to go to the deep history, because he refused to involve the taxpayers in decision making. So as a compromise, it was agreed that all the taxpayers are divided into what we now call constituencies, so that their representatives can go to Parliament and then form what is called the House of Commons. House of Commons is a lower house. The lower house is supposed to deliberate on each and everything that affects the money that you pay as taxes. That is what we are calling the policy. So these people who sit in Parliament, by law, I'm addressing you, so that you can see whether you have a member of Parliament or you don't have. By law, they are not supposed to ever stand and say we increase taxes, because they work against the executive. The executive is a derivative from the House of Lords. The House of Lords were the kings, the ministers, and the rest of it. So how I want to KRA in watu wa mkono? They have nothing to do with the policies. They cannot alter decimal on that one. The people who are to be blamed squarely are people like John Mutuzo, who sat in that house and said, yeah, that now we do this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is very strange in Kenya today, we are having members of Parliament proposing taxation. That is evil. It's not acceptable. Even the House of Congress, even the House of Commons, any parliament that you talk about. In belief, what I would say is that your poor representation has led to this quagmire that you have with the taxes. Because somebody should have risen at the point at which this policy was tabled, and before even the gazettement, and objected. Number two, inside the Parliament there are committees. There's a committee of implementation. So if something by bad luck escapes the watchdog, then the House has a right to come and call the executive and pin them down on this particular item, main item that is a problem. So as far as I'm concerned, in Kenya's situation the way it is, we have too many members of Parliament dancing Mogidi and not even understanding the policies that make them go to Parliament to represent the people. I thank you.
But people with disability, they have different type of challenges. For example, if somebody has got a pigmentation problem, and you know what we call them, we have people with hearing problems, we have people who cannot talk, they can use only sign languages, we have people who are like myself, who are having some of the impairments, some of my wheels, I will call them wheels, my legs are not operating comfortably, but my brain, my hands are working very comfortably. But let me tell you something that happens with the people with disability. Number one, if they were born in that status, because of the challenges they come facing along the way, no matter how the government tells us to go and be repealed again and be tested whether we are growing better, we don't grow better, we go for the worse. Because number one, the moment you get properties, you start getting the weight. Now you become bigger, and the legs are not able to hold you anymore. So you have to ask for another extra thing, because before I was not walking like this. I was walking without this kind of a thing, and then you get also challenges because there is slipperiness. And currently we are also trying to modify our houses. We are putting up tiles. You are not remembering the people with disability are there. And then before, like this one, when I came to hold this one, I fell in the bathroom, in one of the lodges in the bathroom, and I crashed this leg again. So you see, we keep on, challenges continue working with us. And some of the companies will never employ us because the moment, like let me just, as you gave me only 3 minutes, I wish I tell you, I have been born in Nakuru, I've been born in Kinango, somewhere I could not go to school, so I started schooling when I was 8 years old. You can imagine an old boy who was 8 years old. And then when I came to Nakuru, my father sold the land, that place. We came to Nakuru. I have stayed here in Lanet, and then I schooled in Langalanga Primary. Let me tell you something, a challenge that we have been having. The moment you continue looking for jobs, there are some jobs which we will never get, like salesman. As a salesman, something to do with agriculture, we are not part of it. I did it as a challenge. I wanted to challenge other people. And we also have things like the army, the Kenya police. You cannot be taken to NICS, I don't know, that's what we call it. You cannot be taken to be a chief because you cannot be able to be a paramilitary. So those are challenges that our people are facing. But the reason why I'm here, I'm asking for inclusivity. During 2003, there was an act that was passed by the parliament that we should also look on the people with the disability and they should be included. But I think we are overshadowed by the women because we were categorized with the women. As a challenge with the government, we have been categorized with the women. And whenever they are doing anything, they usually say people with disability and women and youths. To tell you some of the challenges we have, and I always call it, that is demeaning us to a lower level, is even giving us toilets. Who has ever seen a toilet drawn a person sitting on a wheelchair? They are called special toilets. Let me tell you something. It is so demeaning to us like men, because I always ask myself, why do they put them in ladies and we have men? If it is only one, we share all of us together. Don't we mean anything to the community? When you tell us that disability is inability, I always tell you, disability is disability. Don't tell us stories. Let us come and prove to you that we can work. When my head is having no problem, I can sit and become the best person who is investigating cases in the police station. True or false? I have some soldiers. This is a place we call it's a game of numbers that comes to us. We have so many people who come. You can get a problem. I'm driving like I usually drive. I'm a fast driver. When we sit with you, you cannot believe I'm the one who is also walking slower than you do. One, you can get a spinal injury. You will be in our category. It is a place you can come without a plan. My vice chair here was running the other day, and today she is walking like I do. And it's only that she left the Mkogojo the other day. And I'm saying this because this is a project that people come to without willing. So let us not put people with disability out of the position. And I think that order and say that we should be given 5%. And what did you say about women? That is why I'm coming here with a lot of force and saying we are not well represented. They said women to that gender. How many people have heard about that? My MP, si unajua wewe ulikuwa huko na ukapigana sana na wazee wakasema wamama wakasema wanataka wachaguliwe. We want them to come and fight with us as we usually fight with you people who are able, because it is a challenge. Mimi nikikuja kwako sitaiba. Sijaiona mtu amepelekwa, mtu ambaye ako na disability amepelekwa kotini kwa sababu aliiba duka fulani. And they are very faithful. Tafadhali ajili hawa watu. Hawezi iba kwa sababu anaogopa. The life that we walk in. Let me tell you something. In school, let me ask you something. And I want to tell you, these are challenges. And that people with disability, I don't always think as ati mseme tu usemage tu. Watu wengine wamekula pesa na njia watu with disability. I was reading something yesterday, and it is in Nakuru County. A certain year, not this year, not our governor. Our governor is good. There was auditor writing a story. He was saying 8 million, which was dispersed, was not well calculated for. They could not be able to give certainty that money was given to the people with the disability. 8 million, 8 point something million. Now, why do you have to eat somebody's money? huyo mtu ambaye ni mtu ambaye ako na mashida mingi. That is why I say they are always aggressive, wanajipiganiana. Chairman wangu hapa hivi Bwana Ali, he knows very well I can fight when it comes to fighting. Anajua mahali tunapigana, ikifika ni kupigana tunapigana. Tunasema we fight our way so that we can get it. But now don't allow us to fight. Tupelekeni vizuri. Tunaenda airport pale, unajua mimi naongea kidogo kule juu kidogo kwa sababu nimeenda. Ukienda India unawekewa kagari na kuendesha hiyo kagari penye unafika. Hapa Kenya kuja upewe hii wheelchair. Sasa wewe unaanza kusukuma kama mtu mwenye njia. Sasa tunasema wacha nayo, wacha nitembee tu. You are trying to give yourself that you are able. You know, but I want to ask those organizations. Ninaona kuna insurance pale. Na insurance moja nilipoingia. Let me tell you a challenge I got. I went to Madison Insurance. It's one of the company that I went. But I just became a salesman because the first thing for a salesman, any qualification you find, you must be physically fit. Hiyo ni jeshi ingine. Na lucky enough, one of my former teacher in high school alikuwa the MD of the company, and he told me, try, I know you can. So he made me to become a salesman that time. Sometimes we are not given opportunities. I went to the Lanet ilikuwa ikitrain jeshi by that time before it was taken to Eldoret. Na nikaenda huko nikasema hapo nataka kuajiriwa kama jeshi. And that person asked, because I used a tricky way niweze kuingia ndani. Who gave you permission to give this man to come to my office?
How are you all? My name is Monica, and we have a company called Tiankara Creation, a third generation business that we are proud to say has grown from tailoring to manufacturing in Nakuru County. And I can say this, that as women, we should not be afraid to really try and work for what we believe in. Because when we started this business, we started very small and it grew to where it is today. And now 30 years later, we are producing and we are manufacturing. The story for me today is not about Tiankara, but is the transition we've made from just being a tailoring company to manufacturing. And now, feeling that I'm quite well able to leave the business to the third generation, I can now start advocating for the tailoring sector. And today I'm sitting here as GAMAC, a GAMAC member, and also organizing secretary. And what we are doing is trying to advocate for tailors. 30 years in tailoring and also only 4 years in manufacturing, we've come to realize the problems that are in the tailoring sector. And I know most women are in the tailoring sector. And this is where you find you go around, you don't make ends meet, you are making that one outfit, it can't feed your family, and that's what GAMAC is advocating for. That from now on, we will be having a voice whereby we'll be able to grow this industry to become a manufacturing sector for Kenya. And I can say this is a big step for us, and as a woman, you already heard what was happening on the ground, the KRA issue, our small industries are coming down. Why? Because anytime you try to raise up, there's something that is standing on your way. So I want to say this to women. It's time we take hold of what we are doing, believe in ourselves, and really push to have a say in the industries we are running. Either agriculture, in any area we are standing, let's not just start and finish small. We should start and finish big. GAMAC is ready to bring together all stakeholders, tailors, fashion designers, so that we can have a voice in Kenya and say we want to dress the Kenyan community. I saw today in the papers, they are saying that there is a Kenya outfit that is being launched, that they are giving 1 million Kenya shillings to come up with a garment. And I'm asking myself, it's a good initiative, but what are we doing to build our manufacturing sector that has many people? And we start saying let's start making clothes for the Kenyan people, sensitizing them on how to dress. Because even if it's this one garment, it will be worn for an occasion. But in everyday clothing, we see everything we are wearing is imported. What can the government do to support an initiative that is actually going to help our Kenyan tailors be able to dress the Kenyans from quality to export? That is the conversation we should be having in the tailoring sector today. How do we grow our tailoring sectors? We don't have professionals. Those are textile engineers to help us in manufacturing. We don't have cut system designers to help us in making garments. So I'm saying, as women and as tailors, if we are not careful, we are going to keep on wailing in our issues where we just make garments for one person and our families continue being in poverty. And this tailoring sector being the lowest looked down sector in our country. So mine is to say, women in every sector, we have to arise and we have to stand. And I can tell you, we are getting there. We are going to have a voice, and very soon, we will not only make garments that we want here in Kenya, we are going to make sure the voice of all the tailors is heard in the country, and we are given incentive to manufacture, and everything else will go smoothly in our businesses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for inviting me to this panel. And Monica, I want to applaud you for being a generational business, because that's where everybody should lead themselves to. My name is Dr. Stowa. I'm a chiropractor and the CEO of Polycare Wellness Center. We were established in 2009. So we have grown, and I can hear, I love women because women have a nurturing spirit. So we really plant a seed and we grow it. So we have grown from one person and one receptionist who used to do everything to now a company that employs 20 people. We have 12 clinicians and 10 support staff. So what we do chiropractic, physiotherapy, therapeutic massages, hydrotherapy, and exercises. The reason I'm talking to you is because chiropractors are very few and beyond in this country. We only have 15. So I'm appealing to the youth and the young generation here to try and look at that as a profession. There's an opportunity there. You need to have a bachelor's degree either in science or arts when you come in, because it's a 5-year program. We don't have universities here as yet. We are still looking at creating a program at KU, but as you can, if you are passionate about it, you can always appeal to somebody who will be able to fund that program and grow you as a chiropractor. So I'm appealing to you as youth to consider that particular area. And in business leaders, we need to make sure that we are growing our business slowly by slowly. It's not easy, it's a matter of nurturing it as you grow, but keep growing it and persist on it. Kenya is a good space. Kenya is a very extraordinary area. As Kenyans, we are really privileged to have Kenya as a country. With the peace and with the environment, we can grow our business. And I know Kenyans are very hardworking. So please push with your dream wherever you are and try to grow a business and enrich yourselves in this environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's a good advice. I'm Judy Wagesi Jenga. I'm a businesswoman. Also, I am a farmer. I do transport. I have my own garage. Also, I am doing 100 acres of cabbage. So in Kenya, I'm trading as a cabbage baron because I'm the one who is producing a lot of cabbage in Kenya. In 2019, as Mr. Kanyere said, I was awarded being the best woman in agriculture in Kenya by President Uhuru. And my journey is a bit hard because I started it by myself. Nobody support, no bank support, but me, myself on my own. Now, when I was young, I can advise women to train their children to work together, to show them what you are doing so that they can inherit you once you became old. Is it right? Yes. But me, I'm not very good in English, but I'm very good in Kiswahili. Can I express myself in the Kiswahili? Yes. So that Kiswahili is a national language also. Yeah. Sasa, wakati nilikuwa mdogo, tulianza na mama yangu. Mama yangu alikuwa ananifundisha vizuri sana. Ananiambia ninalima hivi, shika hizi bego, panda, na mwishowe naona mavuno ya hizo bego. Kwa hivyo nikiwa mkubwa, nikatamani kuwa kama mama yangu. Mama yangu alikuwa anatuambia chukua hizi viazi, peleka soko. Kama kuna mtu anajua Nyahururu and Subukia, me I was walking from Nyahururu to Subukia town, carrying 2 debes of viazi and 5 liters of milk and some 20 eggs. Nienda niuze, ndio nikiuza ninunue mkate na soup, then nirudi na miguu the same journey. Na hiyo ikanifanya hard sana. Ulikuwa unateremka mlima asubukia baka, unasikia mguu imerudi na nyuma, unaigogea hapa inarudi na mbele. Na ni kweli mguu wala inarudi nyuma na unairudisha na inarudi. But hiyo ni mguu yenye imefanyishwa mazoezi kubwa sana. Kwa hivyo mimi sikulewa kama watoto wenye mnalea nowadays, mnasema starting mtoto wangu apitie shida yenye nilipitia. Mimi nasema watoto wangu wapitie shida yenye nilipitia ndio wawe watu. Sababu kama leo mimi ni director wa Isuzu, I'm the dealer of Isuzu Jewa in Naivasha. Bado mimi ninalima, bado niko na kazi ya transport. Na hizo kazi ninazifanya comfortable sababu niko na kitu, niko hardened. Ukiniambia tung'oe mti, for example, like today niambie hii miti tutang'oa. In fact mimi na juaga hii miti iko na root kadhaa. Na mimi na plan vile nitakata root ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu, na mti ifanye nini? Ianguke. Si hata kusigisia nitaikata aje. Hiyo niko naye kwa knowledge kwa sababu kuanzia mbele mimi I was hardened by my mom. Na sasa ndio nikatoka kwetu. Mimi sikusoma sana. Nilisoma mpaka form 2. But hata kama nilisoma mpaka form 2, Mungu amenipeleka, na I'm very sorry to say so, my neighbor akona degree, he is professor. Na that professor amesomea mambo ya ng'ombe, feeding ng'ombe. Anaweza bomoa ng'ombe hapa iweke chakula na ajue itatoa production kiasi gani. Na imagine mimi ndio ninampea maziwa. The same person, hello? Na the same person, yeye amesoma sana, ako na probox, naenda na probox, naenda na kawgali ya wishi. Mimi Mungu amenisaidia, niko na double pickup ya Isuzu, na niko na Prado, na niko na gari ingine bado. Na bado niko na maroli 9. Unaona? Na niko na 100 acres. Na hizo zote nimepata kwa sababu ya kunyenyekea. Mimi nimenyenyekea kutoka siku hizi. Wasichana mnataka kutajirika first day, unaendesha Prado, unasida ukiangalia mwanaume mwenye yako na gari ndio akuoe, na hujui hata hiyo gari alitoa wapi ndio aipate. mnataka one day muwe matajiri. Mimi nitawauliza baadaye, mguess mimi niko miaka ngapi, na mimi nilianza biashara nikiwa 18 years. 18 years ndio nilikuwa napeleka hizo mizigo. Kutoka hapo nikaanza kupeleka boga Nakuru. Na wakati nilikuwa secondary form 1 and that form 2, mama yangu alikuwa ananituma niende kuandikwa kwa wazungu nilime ndio nipate pocket money yangu. Sasa nikiajiriwa napata pocket. Kwa hapo nikaona vile hii mzungu analima kitunguu, analima nyanya, analima nini, na ameajiri watu wengi sana. Kwa hiyo nikawa na hiyo akili, nikatamani. Kwa hivyo ukiambia na mtoto wako wacha nende nikaajiriwa hotel fulani ama shamba fulani, usimkataze, atatoka na vitu mingi huko. Sasa mimi nilitoka na hiyo na nikatamani sana kuwa mkulima. Na ndio 2010 tukawa tumefanya kazi na bwana wangu vizuri. I was married but he is late now. Tukafanya kazi mzuri na bwana wangu. Mnajua African men wanatakaga mama akue nyuma saa yote, si ni kweli? Tuongee ukweli. Wa mama wazee hawataki mama mwenye ako mbele, anasemaga mkue nyuma, mali ni ya wazee. Si hivyo ndio trade ya Kenya? But nowadays wa mama tujiongeze value, na msitegemee wazee sana. Msionyeshe mzee si mtu wa kuomba gas, si mtu wa kuomba sukari ama mafuta. Mzee ni mtu wa kuitishwa 1 million ya kununua shamba ama kununulia gari. Ukisikia wazee mama akikwambia sina mafuta, sina sukari, sina majani, huyu umchukue ni mama useless, hata hakuna baadhi ya kupeleka shwale. Gasi ni kitu mama apage viazi soko na awe na pesa na anunue. Is it true? Yes. Nguo ya mama ni kitu mama ataweza fanya kama nikabiashara. Aende tuseme for example, huna kitu na huna pesa. Chomoka, enda pahali kata managu, panga, wanu gunia utaweza funa. Panga kwa soko, uza, anza na gunia moja ya managu. Na hiyo gunia moja ya managu ni 1,500. Enda mara mbili, uwe na 3,000, utanunua pikapu ya boga na uanze kuuza. Si ni kweli? Hiyo sasa unajitoa kwa hiyo shida. Kwa hivyo it is very true. Ukiona mama anakwambia sina sabuni, sina nini, ujue huyu mama anafaa kila siku vita. Ile inakuwa ya kichwa. Ndio anakusumbua kule ni kitu angefanya. Wazee muwaitishe gari, muwaitishe kitu kubwa, waambie wawekee mabiashara kama hamuna, mujiendeleze. Mimi nilijiendeleza hivyo. Tukafanya kazi vizuri na mume wangu. Hiyo miaka nilikuwa 17 years. Nikaanza biashara, nikakuja hapa Nakuru nikiwa kadogo sana. Nikaleta sukuma, nikauza sukuma. Nikaidia kwa retail shop, nikaona kuna biriganya, kuna hoho, kuna nini. Nikaenda kwa hizo, nikaenda kwa mashamba, nikakuta kuna hizo biriganya, compare the prices na nikajua prices yenye iko soko. Kwa hivyo hiyo price ndio nilipeleka kwa shamba, nikanunua with profit. Mama mwenye nilikuwa anunua hizo biriganya, capsicum na nini, akasikia ubaya sana, akaningoja, ndio alikuwa anapeleka Nairobi. Akaniambia kasichana, kuja nikupeleke Nairobi, huku ndio vitu zinanunuliwa. Naye mimi nikiwa 20, saa hiyo nilikuwa nimefanya 17, 18, 20 years, ndio nikaenda Nairobi. Nairobi tukienda na huyu mama, nilimwangalia nikaona huyu ajui, anafikisha vitu, watu wanachukulia hapa, alafu inachukuliwa na Waidi immediately. Mimi nilienda nikauliza Muhindi, hii vitu utanunua? Akaninunulia. Kutoka hapo mimi nikaenda Westland. Westland nilienda mpaka Parliament nikiwa 23 years. Nimesupply kisani ya Parliament. Hapo ndio nikaolewa nikiwa 23 years. Kutoka hapo hiyo kazi nikaanzia mzee wangu na nikafungua duka. Nikauza duka. Duka ni mzuri ukilea watoto wakiwa hapo shukari nini. Nikalelea watoto wangu hapo. Nikaacha bwanangu kwa hiyo duka. Na ile kazi ya Nairobi pia akaimaliza, akakuja kwa duka, nikamwachia duka, nikaanza ingine. But naongea hivyo hayuko. Hayuko. Akakuja kwa duka, Tukafanya hivyo mpaka nikawa contractor wa makabichi. Hiyo duka yangu ilifanya initishe mambo ya kuuza, ya kupanda boga. Sasa nilipoambia mzee wangu nataka kufanya mambo sasa ya kupanda boga, contract, alinitia mama yangu na wakanikemea sana, na nikamwambia wacha niendelee, na nikaendelea na nikamwachia sasa hiyo duka, akaendelea naye. Mimi nikaendelea na contract, akarudi na obi kuuza mapiganya na nini, mimi nikaendelea na contract. Na kuanzia hapo kuna kazi inaitwa contract, hiyo nitawafuza baadaye. Huyu Ruth amenipea 3 minutes, kama mtaniongezea. Kutoka hapo ndio mzee wangu aliniambia, Judy, sasa umefanya kazi mzuri, umelea watoto. At that age nilikuwa 40 years. Akaniambia umelea watoto, sasa kaa kwa nyumba. Nikamwambia hapana. Akaniambia utakaa. Akaninunua gari, akaniambia kaa. Nikamwambia hapana, wacha niweke kaduka. Na ndio nikaweka kaduka kadogo, sababu nilikuwa nikisupply nyanya kwa soko na nini. Mzee alikataa kuniwekea duka. Nilienda kwa soko nikaambia wamama, nataka watu wa kusupply. Nikaenda kwa mtu wa doma wa gwase wa nini, nikawapea order with the situation. Kikataa kudeliver by saa 4, hiyo order nimekazo, na ni order sina hata dururu. Sasa wote walisupply. After 3 days nikauza, na mzee alinikuta nikiwa na duka kubwa sana, kubwa, nikaiandika one stop market, na nilikuwa nauza hiyo duka 150,000 sale per day. Kutoka hapo mzee anakuja jioni, anasimamisha gari hapo, ananiangalia, anaona nimeendeleza ile duka. Ndio aliniambia duka peke yake. Na sasa hiyo duka yangu ndio ilinitisha mambo ya kupanda vitu. Nikapewa loan na Cooperative Bank, nikapewa 80,000. 80 ndio iliniwezesha kununua boga, kununua sasa hizo vitu, kustock hiyo duka. Juu nilikuwa naomba kwa credit. Kutoka hapo wakanipea 300. Nikaenda area za Moidabi, nikanunua shamba. At that time 2010 ilikuwa nauzwa 250,000 per 5 acres block. Nikanunua with 250. The 50 nikatumia kupanda naye nini, mahindi na nini. Kutoka hapo nilikuwa nalipa hiyo loan immediately, nalipa na kopa. And today I'm a proud owner of 100 acres in Moidabi. Na hiyo mzee aliaga nikiwa na hiyo 100 acres. Na hiyo mzee aliaga akishuhudia vile alinikataza, akishuhudia mimi nikiwa awarded by president being the best woman in agriculture. Hii nikachukuliwa nikaenda Argentina, nikafanywa nyiki patimiki, a girl from Boyman, from nowhere, being the owner of Isuzu, being the owner of 100 acres, mwenye anatafutwa na TV zote. Mimi najua mmeniona nikiitwa Judy wa Gesi Jega, mkini Google huko mtaniona, kwa YouTube mtaona shamba yangu vile linaendelea. Kwa hivyo ningeomba wamama na wasichana mutiadi value, na msisikize sana, be yourself. Ukiolewa ndio penda hiyo mzee wako, juu lazima uanze boma, but si ati amekuoni mpaka akili zako. Umwambiage wewe huwezi kuwa mimi na mimi siwezi kuwa wewe, kwa sababu huyu unaona huyu mama anafanya hiyo yake, huyu anafanya yake, mimi nafanya yangu. Kwa hivyo yote tukichanganya tunaweza kwa meza, but let me be free. Ni kweli wamama mjiongeze value.
Thank you very much.
Hakuna mama mwenye value, hakuna mwanaume atatupa mama mwenye value. Wanaume semeni, atatupa mama mwenye value. No. Kama mimi niko na 100 acres, nani atatupa? Kwa hivyo ni mzuri wa mama tusaidie wazee, tusikue hohehae, tuwe sisi na tuwe wa mama courageous. Muwe courageous. Mjielewe na mjiamini. Thank you very much. Na kama unataka more about business, how to start your business, please, I will educate you from zero to something. Usikue mwoga kwa loan, usikue mdanganyifu. Kenya, we are looking for just 3 good things. Uwe hard work, uwe sincere, na uwe nini? Generous. generosity. Hizo vitu ukiwa nazo, in fact kila mtu atatafuta mtu kama nani. Imagine mmepata mtu kama huyu at this me. Kailini, thank you.
Are we encouraged? Then make the right decision kumfuruga kuja hapa. Na imagine alikuwa kuja hapa saa 3. Akaniambia nisimsumbue, alale kidogo. But anyway, thank you very much, Judy. This is a call to action. We need a women forum to empower our youth, women and youth in startups. And I'm happy that we have our young people here. Tuko na wasichana, tuko na vijana. So usiseme ati ni mama ameongea, si amewaambia vile mnafanya. Na she is available. The good thing is that ni director. So tukisema director tunakuhitaji kesho jioni, atakuja mbio. She's passionate about empowering women and youth to grow businesses. So the challenge also to the companies here, reach out to our office. We want to do these forums so that we can also have sustainability. Kuna mtu aliniuliza, why value addition in agriculture and manufacturing? Inaingiana. Sasa kuna mtu aliniuliza, Judy, in fact tulikuwa na yake muuliza, cabbage na garlic zinaingiana wapi? Si amewaambia, she has more to share. Kuna vitu mingi zenye anafanyaga na asemi hapa sababu nimempea dakika 5. So now we will make time and create a forum for women and youth who can come and learn more on how to run businesses. And I believe if I reach out to Monica and Dr. Soa, they will be out there. So before tufunge hii mwaka, tutakuwa na hiyo forum. So nyinyi ndio mtatu advise tufanye dinner ama breakfast ama whole day session. Kampuni ziko hapa zitakuja tusaidia. Somebody else asked, why insurance, why daktari, why machine, why sijui nini? Is there anything that is not made from manufacturing? Ama from agriculture? Si vitu zote lazima zinatoka mahali. That is why we combine that, because we want people to get into agri and also into manufacturing. Before I release them, I don't want to, or is there anyone with a question? Judy, watu wanataka namba yako ya simu.
Nani ana karamu? 0722 88 6219. Nirudie. 0722 88 62 19. Are you done?
Yes. Thank you very much. Before we close the session, I know you have questions, but kwa sababu ya masaa, si tumesema tunapanga ingine yenye tuko peke yetu. Hii naona anakanyaga wanaume sana. Or is there a burning question? Any burning question? Anyone with a burning question? Sawa, we will take a group photo, but before then, mnaweza toka hapa alafu mfanye ifutwe kazi. A short story how I got into chamber as a vice chair. I started as a program officer. The young people here, si mbaya kununua makeup, si mbaya kuvaa kiatu mzuri, but hiyo pesa unaweza anzisha nao kitu. I was left a young girl of 17 years. My mom died when I was 18, by the way. I think 18 thereabout. Chairman knows my story. Na nikaachwa na siblings. We are 5 in the family. And I also had a child 3 months old when I buried my mom. My dad passed on in 1996. So both parents are not there. Mama, mimi msichana mdogo, nimezaa na nimeachia watoto. But I did not stop there. I'm saying this because I've seen some young people here wanashinda kusema siwezi hook, siwezi fanya nini. It starts from somewhere. If you want to grow in business na unataka kujijenga, you have to jituma. Sijui amesema tujitume. Mimi nimepigiwa watu nguo, nimeuza kibanda. Watu wenye wananijua kutoka hii Nakuru. Ushago kwetu ni hapa tu street. Nilikuwa na kibanda hapo kwetu nje. Nikatoka kibanda, nikakuwa supplier wa soko hivyo venye amefanya. Nikatoka hapo nikaanza supply za mahoteli na nikaregister kampuni which supplies mashule na mahoteli. But I did not stop there. Mimi singekaa hapa mbele ya watu, hata ndio the first panel nina hold. Niliambiwa hivyo nikashrink, nikasweat, nikazunguka hii kiwanja hivyo nikarudi. but I had to do it because of the moderator, what happened to him. But all the same, it took courage na kujituma na kujiamini. She has said clearly,
ni kazi ya chini. You are needed and you are required. What you need to do is to up your game and come up with good designs. Katarakta, nilikuwa unaongea mambo ya carrots. Sikuwa unajua sikuwa najua kitu gani. But we've learned a lot from you, and I would encourage the youth, that is something you need to consider when you're choosing careers. I'm facing you, the youth and the Gen Z. Madam Judy, she's my director and chair of Women in Business. You've heard of her testimony. This is a woman of substance. Although when you discuss Kizama, behind every successful man, there is a woman. Lakini amesema mwanamke zikae nyuma, sijui alikuwa anamaanisha nini? Oh, hiyo. Okay. So I've witnessed what Madam Judy does, and I can tell you, agribusiness is the way to go. Hii mambo unasikia sijui ya kupaka makeup, unatafuta kazi, unatafuta CEO, ufanye sijui ABCD, wachana nayo. Agribusiness is the way to go, and you're lucky you have her here. After this session, you can have a chat with her where to start. You don't need to own land. Maybe she didn't give that session. I know the whole story. There's a part where she started now buying land slowly by slowly until it reached 100 acres. You can start even with leasing, okay? But with your education and your, energy, you look for crops which can have value. We have crops like basil, we have herbs for export. Chamber of Commerce is here to help you in getting the market for that. Si ati mnaenda kulima mahindi, maharagwe, hapana. Yeye alifanya yake wakati hiyo. Sasa nyinyi ni Gen Z, kujeni na kitu mpya. We'll help you do that. That's why Chamber is here, and I'm sure you're going for another session of training. Am I right? Well, part of the training is the skills of doing business. Si ile kuingia ile kizamani na dabo tena unalima, you sweat and then you say, oh, I've been doing farming. You can work smart, you don't need to work that hard. Sawa. So I want to thank all the panelists. You've given us changamoto. Some of us have learned a lot from that. I want to recognize my fellow chairman, Eli. He's the chairman of Kenya Chamber of Commerce, Nandi. Umekuja na timu yako? Kuja salimia raia hapa.
Mjambo wote. Mjambo tena. I'm very happy to be here today. I've just learned a lot from these ladies. This is a good session. I think time ilikuwa kidogo. Ruth, next time when you're organizing this, I think I got ladies from Nandi. Leo ilikuwa women. No, women so leo nitembea na ladies from Nandi. And I think this session is very good for them. They need more of this, and maybe you can organize next time when you're having an expo in Nandi, or here you can have an allocated time so that Judy anaweza kutuambia vile tunaweza pangana huko maneno. So I think that's very good. So I would like to take this opportunity just to introduce the team that he came with. Today was a Women in Business Day. So mnaweza simama the ladies from Nandi. Yes. So we have it was a ladies day out. So mimi nilikuwa kwa mkono. That's why nilikuwa hata nje. Ndio napanga huku nini na nini. So the ladies are here. These are business people, business women from Nandi, and they really wanted us to come and understand and learn more from Nakuru. So maybe I'll just this is Immaculate Awino. She trades in cereals. This is Mangesoi. Mangesoi anaenda line moja na Monica. Yeye ni anajulikana sana. Alianza na chalani moja, sasa hivi ako na she has a whole shop. She does uniforms and all that. Hiyo anaitwa Rispa Chemchai, is a contractor. Serious one, hata amevaa wewe ni watu wa serikali. Anafanya contracts. Huyo anaitwa Glorious is a baker. Anaunda cakes na mambo hiyo company hiyo line ya sherehe. Nataka vitu ya sherehe kama hii anafanya hiyo. Huyo anaitwa Yvonne, serious lady, anafanya transport, anakimbiza malori huku na pale. Yule anaitwa Beatrice Akinyi, ni original. Tunaita Nanduko original. She works in the textile industry. Anashona na she has a big shop. Our young lady Barbara, ako kwa kampuni inaitwa Nambo Furniture. She works she's a part of the leadership or owners a very big workshop in Kapsabet inaitwa Nambo Furniture. And then we have Lucy Maritim, pia yeye ni mambo ya textile industry. Hapo nyuma kuna mtu wangu mkono. Songa hivi mbele. I felt like sisi tembea peke yangu na all the ladies. Mtu asiende kunibiskuti huko nyumbani. Nikasema let me walk with him. Peter Chalicha. Chalicha anaitwa Chalicha Chapati. You see, he's from the catering industry. Hata unao mwili vile iko. It's evidence. Evidence. Akikuuzia chakula una wasiwasi because his testimony, what he sells actually inafanya kazi. So Peter Chalicha, asante. Thank you ladies. I just appreciate them for coming. And they will be here until evening. Asante sana. Chair Said is my friend. Nimekuwa naye kwa trenches huko tukingangana kuleta mambo fulani kwa chamber. We have worked with him. I know him, a man of truth. Man, I don't know how you handle him. Handling aje huyu jamaa? Sasa ngine anatushinda sasa zingine. He shoots very straight. Sometimes I always tell him so acha kidogo. Piga miss kidogo usiwe. Anagonga na shoka hivi yote mpaka hata kama ni wakubwa na so we like him because he's honest, straightforward, candid. Nakwambia vile iko ujipange nayo. So I thank you for this wonderful event. Tunafurahia kuwa hapo pamoja na nyinyi. Asante sana and God bless you.